I'm on a journey to see the world's most photographable places, to take you along with me on a virtual photo walk, to show you how to get great photos like these. I'm Jefferson Graham.
And you're watching PhotowalksTV.
From Cleveland, Ohio, the home of Superman.
This is Cleveland, the real metropolis, the birthplace of Superman, the city that helped popularize rock and roll, home to many great Art Deco buildings from the 40s and 30s. This is the Daily Planet right behind me, okay? This is a wonderful city to visit and a great place to take photos, as you will see.
Many people will get to experience Cleveland on the big screen in the latest Superman film, the first of the series ever to be filmed in Cleveland, where the character was created back in the 1930s.
And for people to know that about Cleveland, that this is where things began for Superman, it's a great thing.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
We'll have more on Superman's origin story in Cleveland in a minute, but first, some logistics. Cleveland is one of Ohio's big three C's, along with Columbus and Cincinnati, and it sits at the top of the state near Lake Erie, about 2 hours east of Detroit. Cleveland is the second largest city in Ohio with roughly 2 million residents in the metro area. It's not as large as it used to be because back in the 1950s, Cleveland was the 7th largest city in America. But the city began falling on hard times in the 1970s as factory jobs began disappearing from the Rust Belt, and Cleveland lost 2/3 of its population. But as you'll see, the people of Cleveland are very resilient, and they have fought back with a thriving art scene fueled by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and local theater. Cleveland has the second largest performing arts district in the United States after New York, and a revitalized downtown and spirit.
It's not the mistake on the lake, it has that reputation.
I think we know that this is a gem, and we always welcome people to come here to Cleveland, right, and experience it for yourself. So give Cleveland a try.
As always, I'm filming this episode on the same camera that I'm sure you have, a mobile phone, because there's no need for travel photography to lug heavy camera gear anymore when you're on vacation. You can do pretty much everything you need on one of these, as you will see, and be sure to stay tuned for our photo tips in the third segment, because I got some great tips on photographing Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland with the big C, let's start with our 3 C's. Don't forget to wipe your lens clean. Don't forget to check the battery and make sure you're at 100% and check your storage so that you know that you have enough room for photo walking. Speaking of photo walking, let's get started.
What to do? Just walk. I really just walk.
Our small photo walk here is all of 1.6 miles, and it would take you about a half an hour if you didn't make stops, which of course you will.
The great thing about doing a Cleveland Greatest Hits photo walk downtown is that everything is so compact and close to each other. Right behind me is the Leader Building, the historic Leader Building, once upon a time home base for the Cleveland Leader newspaper, now doubles as the Daily Planet, as I mentioned, in the latest Superman movie. Next door you got the arcade, where Superman and Lois Lane take a little flight in the film.
Across the street is the main branch of the Cleveland Public Library, a drop-dead gorgeous building circa 1925, designed by noted architect Cass Gilbert, who also designed the U.S. Supreme Court building in Washington. The style is Beaux Arts with marble interiors and sweeping staircases, and the murals are to die for. And by the way, don't miss the terrific exhibit on the hometown heroes Superman and its creators, Joe Siegel and Jerry Shuster. Across the street from the library is the 52-story Terminal Tower building, no longer the tallest one in town, but in the Superman movie, you can watch them fly over it. And speaking of flying,
Now, I don't know about you, but I left my superpowers at home. I'd really love to fly to the top of this building and see the view that Superman sees. Good news, there's a tour. You can do it. You can pay a few dollars and go up the elevator and do it the old-fashioned way, looking out the window. Want to join me? Let's do it.
Continuing our photo walk, stroll a few blocks down Superior to 9th Street and head down to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which we will explore in our second segment. Meanwhile, now let's leave downtown and head to the Glenville neighborhood and check out the area where the creators of Superman lived and are being remembered to this day.
Everybody in the world knows who Superman is. You can be in any continent, any country. You can see people walking around with Superman t-shirts with the S. Very few people know that it all began in Cleveland. In our nonprofit, the Siegel and Shuster Society, our mission statement is to commemorate and celebrate the creation of Superman in Cleveland by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. We want the world to know this.
So here's the story. Two teenagers from Glenville High in Cleveland, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel, they created the very first superhero in Superman back in the 1930s and modeled the fictional city of Metropolis as a stand-in for Cleveland. But in the movies, producers have filmed it anywhere but the Forest City, in cities like Chicago, Detroit, New York, and Sydney, Australia. The original Shuster home has been replaced on the original land, but it is still adorned with panels from the original comic, and it resides on Joe Shuster Lane. Jerry Siegel's original home, just 9 blocks away, is still intact, and it is also adorned with Superman logos.
Legend has it that Jerry Siegel came up with the idea for Superman while he was trying to sleep. He was in bed, he came up with the idea, he went to his desk to write everything down, and then he went back to sleep. And then another idea came, and he got up and he ran to his desk and he wrote more down. And that morning, legend has it that he ran to Joe's house, 9 blocks to Joe's house, in his pajamas to share the story with Joe so that he could draw it. And you're about to take that journey as you go from Joe's house to Jerry's house.
This is the boyhood home of Jerry Siegel, co-creator of Superman. And as the sign says, this is the house where Superman was born. And if you look at the attic bed, that was his attic bedroom, where his typewriter and his desk were. And he was writing different stories. And Joe Shuster has come over here often, his best friend, the illustrator of Superman.
What does it mean to you that there's a movie finally that's filmed in Cleveland that's a Superman movie?
Oh, it means the world. It really means the world, because you're bringing the world of Superman home, and that's what I love the most. The fact that Jerry and Joe created Superman and Clark Kent right here is finally being recognized, and it's taken a while, but it's so necessary, right? It's so meaningful to me.
Superman and rock and roll, what a great combo.
When we come back from the break, we'll find out why Cleveland and the rest of the world rocks.
The massive hall has hundreds of exhibits over 7 floors, spotlighting rarities like guitars and costumes by some of your favorite rock, blues, and country artists, including the Rolling Stones, Janis Joplin, and Cher, showcases on specific genres, and performance pieces from the likes of Pink Floyd. You can check out sections on the past and present inductees, and if you're so inspired, you could even jam with a local Hall of Fame pickup band. So why is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and what's the city's role in rock and roll history?
Hello, everybody. Hi, all tonight. This is Alan Freed, the old king of the Moondoggers, and it's time again for another of your favorite rock and roll sessions, blues and rhythm records for all the gang in the Moondog Kingdom. from the Midwest to the East Coast.
Well, a local DJ, Alan Freed, began referring to records he was playing as rock and roll as early as 1951, and he also staged what's considered to be the first rock and roll concert in 1952. In Cleveland, rocker Elvis Presley began getting airplay locally, and his popularity began to spread nationally from his initial base in the South. Alan Freed also helped break artists like Little Richard and Chuck Berry by playing them in Cleveland. Cut to today, and now we've got 7 generations of rockers, mostly all available for sale at the Hall's fully stocked record shop. Naturally, there's plenty of band merch as well. The Hall's location, a beautiful glass pyramid that opened in 1995, is just 1 block away from one of the jewels of the city, a big waterfront park overlooking Lake Erie. Be sure to walk down afterwards to take in the view. And if you want the Cleveland beach experience, you'll have to jump in a car or take a cab up the road. Edgewater Beach is one of the most popular spots in town.
Come for the Rock Hall, but there's so much more to Cleveland that you can explore.
Tiffany Tarpley, an anchor with WEWS in Cleveland, is right. Don't just stay downtown when visiting. Get out and explore some of the great neighborhoods where you will see the authentic Cleveland.
You have Tremont, you have Gordon Square, you have Ohio City, and you also have here the Larchmere neighborhood, right?
Yeah, so usually if you were to do a search for Cleveland on Google, you're going to see the downtown skyline and some of the downtown buildings. You're not going to see the neighborhoods.
No, you're not.
Should.
Oh, definitely. I think there's so much to these neighborhoods. And honestly, I think you're going to find so much history too, and learn a lot about the city and where we've come from and where we are today. In the different neighborhoods, we're so big on culture, right? Ethnicity. That's being explored and being really represented well, I think, right here in Cleveland.
The neighborhood I met Tiffany in, Larchmere, has wonderful tree-lined streets and really cool mom-and-pop shops, plus the amazing Al's Diner, which has kind of huge portions, wouldn't you say? I also like the Gordon Square neighborhood, which has a lot of local theater, and a wonderful little ice cream shop called Lake Erie Scoops.
I've lived in this neighborhood about 20 years now, so I know my neighbors. We have a community garden. You know, I'm the crossing guard up the street. I know the kids that go to the school right there.
What would you like people watching this to know about Cleveland? That they just know it's some city in the...
It's got a lot to offer, and people should just come and visit it, visit the city. It's not the mistake on the lake, like it has that reputation. But it's just a fun town. This whole area, like from Detroit to Buffalo, is just a fun area. I would recommend driving that stretch of Lake Erie. It's a nice part of the country.
Doesn't get the attention.
Doesn't get the attention, no.
In the media, it's New York,
and that's
LA,
okay.
and Chicago.
I think people are okay with not getting all the attention, but I think people are just pleasantly surprised when they come and visit. And I think the mindset has changed a little bit. When I first moved here, like late 90s, early 2000s, people were still having that, like, oh, it's the mistake on the lake kind of place. But now I feel like people have embraced Cleveland and, really.
Well, it was
really
the mistake on the lake because of the fires in the lake.
Yes.
But they fixed
and then
the
EPA,
fires?
Yes. There are people now, you go on the Cuyahoga River right there, and people are out kayaking, and sailing's really big on the lake, Lake Erie. But yeah, they've cleaned up everything for the most part.
Tell everybody what you're doing right now. What are you making?
All right, so we're gonna make a good old-fashioned root beer float
With
frosty root beer and homemade Milli Vanilli ice cream.
Yes, that you made yourself, right?
Yes. Now the nice thing is sometimes it doesn't all fit in the cup, so then you get a little sipper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One frosty root beer float coming up, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Oh,
I'm
you're
really glad I
welcome.
stopped in. I get a straw too.
Yes.
A red one.
Should have asked you if you had a different color.
Oh, no, it's good. This is a Lake Erie special, right?
Yes. I only recently got the milkshake machine, so this is how we did it for 2 summers.
Okay.
Because you don't always get a place to have a float these days. So the classic vanilla.
Oh, that sounds so good. That's so good.
Yeah. You gotta have a good vanilla if you make your own ice cream.
Okay. So when in Cleveland, Lake Erie Scoops, come in and say hi to Jennifer.
Thank you.
That's what
Yeah,
I've
the
heard.
Polish food, I would say, is like the big one. I would say the Polish food, if I had to identify one.
Okay, so I'm at Mabel's Barbecue in Cleveland, highly recommended by many people, and I got the Polish girl. The Polish boy is one of the popular sandwiches here, and I think this is Mabel's twist. It's got lots of stuff on it, and I got some French fries too. And what you all want to know, this is big. How am I going to get my mouth on this, right? Let's give it a try. Very good. I approve.
After the break, as I devour the rest of the sandwich, we'll be back with Photo Tip
It's Photo Tip time, where we talk about how to get great vacation photos on your phone. Today, of course, we're in Cleveland, Ohio. We want to get a great shot of the Cleveland skyline with a little Lake Erie right in the foreground, right? Now, I've talked to you in the past about going to the tourism offices right away, checking out the postcards for inspiration, and that's a great thing to do. Also pay attention to where you're sleeping, because your hotels, your motels, what's hanging on the wall, it's not great art by the masters. It tends to be local photos. So I'm staying at the Drury Hotel in the heart of downtown, a great old classic hotel, and I saw this picture up there. And I said, yeah, I'd like to do something just like that. I went up to the front desk clerk. She figured out that it was the Superior Detroit Bridge. So I came out to check it out. I know from past experience the GPS will plot me onto the bridge, not on the side street, which is where I wanted to be. So I came over, looked around, pulled around a few streets, and I'm here early because I scout out locations. I don't just show up at sunset, which tonight is at 9 p.m., and hope for the best. I want to make sure this is the shot I want. And I'm very happy with this. We can see the skyline, we can see some water, and we're going to return a little later once the sky gets darker and the city buildings turn on their lights, and hopefully we'll get a great shot. So as you see, we did come back later, and I decided to do a time lapse because there's a light show up there, and I wanted to capture all the lights and do some stills on the phone that you're seeing me on right now. So I have two cameras here. And then I learned that this is in fact the greatest spot in all of Cleveland. How cool is that?
The best spot for a date night here in Cleveland. The most hidden, undiscovered, secret spot that I know of, with the best view of the city. If you're a visitor, this is where you want to come, Heritage Park, right here in the Flats.
So let's talk about that key photo. You'll notice that the shot I liked, the one that was hanging at the hotel, had a chain link fence in the foreground and some amazing reflections in the water. Well, I later learned that the chain fence had been replaced in recent times with a more modern one. And as for the reflections, my guess is this was a morning shot, not the evening. And once I framed my shot, I didn't even want the fence in there in the first place. But you couldn't beat this spot for taking in the Cleveland skyline with the terminal building and Sherwin-Williams headquarters in the foreground as I waited patiently for the city lights to turn on. And that is the key for images like this. Be on duty for sunset, but know that what really makes a shot like this cool is seeing the sky get a little darker and wait for the city buildings to begin lighting up, and they will. Cleveland was extra special in that it gives the community a great free light show, one that is more visible in a time lapse. Remember, the time-lapse videos are about the easiest thing to do with mobile phones. Just put the phone on a tripod, open the camera app, compose the image, click record, and wait around for about an hour. Because even though I'm recording for an hour, what I'm actually doing is recording one frame every 5 or 10 seconds. And in the end, if I have a minute of video, that would be a lot. So I use the Blackmagic camera app, which is free because it offers better manual controls than the Apple or Android apps and gives me higher resolution and better quality. As for the stills, it's pretty simple. Timing is everything. Once the sky got darker, just snap away because now the lighting is just right. Finally, remember our friend Tiffany, the news anchor from WEWS TV? Well, I had a blast photographing her at Big Al's Diner. In the restaurant, I did portraits of her set against the plain glass of the diner booth, which I loved because there were no distractions and we could just focus on her face. Had I photographed her elsewhere in the diner, things would have been in the way. Then we stepped outside and I showed how to deal with bad light. Most people take their portraits during midday, which is the absolute worst time because the strong sun makes terrible shadows on your face. But you can deal with it. I showed her my move around technique. Just keep moving north, south, west, and east, and you will generally find one of them that actually works for you. Mistake on the lake? I don't think so. Cleveland was a joy to photograph. Look at what I pulled off with my smartphone. And that's a wrap for our visit to Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland rocks. Superman lives, you know what I mean? I want to hear from you. Drop me a line at PhotowalksTV@gmail.com and you will automatically be registered for our new monthly giveaway. Send me your questions, send me your comments. Meanwhile, huge shout out to our good friends at Destination Cleveland and the Drury Hotel for their hospitality. I'm Jefferson Graham and I'll see you on the next Photo Walk. Bye bye.